If you are staying in the United States, and a meteorite falls on public land, then it belongs to the Smithsonian Institute. Moreover, did you know that a rock from Mars got ejected from the red planet and landed on Earth nearly 11 years ago? It does contain organic compounds. However, the mere presence of organic compounds does not automatically mean that there was life on Mars once upon a time. But it also does not mean that there was no life on Mars. By the way, do you know the difference between a meteor, a meteorite, a meteoroid, and an asteroid? Visit SciTechVault.com to learn more. Studies conducted so far indicate that patients with Alzheimer's have lower amounts of acetylcholine than healthy individuals. Therefore, acetylcholine receptor agonists, therapeutics that bind to acetylcholine receptors and elicit the same action as acetylcholine, are administered to patients with Alzheimer's to offset the effects of the acetylcholine deficit. Can choline deficiency lead to Alzheimer's? Yes, it can. After analyzing data obtained from the Framingham Heart Study, biomedical researchers came to the conclusion that consuming less than 100 mg of choline daily is associated with an increased incidence of Alzheimer's disease and dementia. In other words, when the consensus is out there, why risk our precious lives by not consuming foods that are rich in choline? To learn more, visit SciTechVault.com now. Researchers studying self-driven or driverless cars have stumbled upon a major obstacle. The light detection and ranging technology, or LiDAR, used in most vehicles, needs further refinement and optimization. LiDAR-based systems generate three-dimensional maps of objects present in the vicinity of the self-driving vehicle. They help determine the distance of a stationary or moving object from the self-driven vehicle. These systems are currently calculating ranges inaccurately, by as much as 20 centimeters. They are also not performing well in the presence of highly reflective objects, such as road signs. Standardized tests are therefore necessary for improving the safety and efficacy of self-driving cars. This can help minimize automobile accidents in the near future. Visit SciTechVault.com to learn more. Quite recently, researchers from Aarhus University, Denmark, carefully analyzed over 225,000 music tracks from more than 980 playlists. They found some interesting trends. Whereas music that aids sleep is generally soft, slow, and instrumental, the study clearly showed that some of the music listeners surprisingly slept well, even after listening to fast, loud, and energizing music. The authors of the published study speculate that energetic songs presumably induce sleep when listeners are extremely familiar with the popular songs. The consonance and familiarity of these songs presumably offset the acoustic chaos that may otherwise result from their high energies, especially at night. Although further research is definitely warranted, experts believe that this may primarily happen because of the involvement of human emotion. To learn more, visit SciTechVault.com now. Do you always eat healthy home-cooked food? Do you rarely eat junk food? Well, you are clearly doing the right thing. Guess what? Grandma was spot on when she told you to avoid eating outside food frequently. All of us now have one more valid reason to listen to Grandma. Danish researchers state in their latest study that patients with multiple sclerosis do not have the same gut bacteria as healthy people. Yes, gut bacteria play a vital role in maintaining good health. Prior research has shown that having the wrong type of bacteria inside your tummy tends to increase your statistical odds of becoming obese and diabetic. A compromised gut microbiome could also make you susceptible to hepatic steatosis, impaired brain function, intestinal bowel diseases, and cancer. Visit SciTechVault.com for more. In the year 2018, the United Kingdom introduced a sugar tax on soft drinks. The expected outcomes included reduced consumption of sweetened soft drinks and reduced obesity among children consuming these drinks, as well as lower amounts of sugar in commercially available soft drinks. A recently published study shows that the sugar tax was indeed successful in reducing childhood obesity by as much as 8%, at least in 6-year-old girls. Moreover, soft drink manufacturers are now adding lower amounts of sugar to soft drinks sold across the UK to offset the expenses incurred because of the sugar levy. In summary, although the recently introduced sugar tax or sugar levy demonstrated limited success, citizens and policymakers still need to collectively figure out a slightly better way of addressing the issue of soft drink consumption and childhood obesity. Do you enjoy working from a perfectly silent office room, or do you prefer having at least some steady and non-distracting background noise? Well, researchers from the University of Arizona and University of Kansas have recently been able to identify the sweet spot. It's 50 decibels. Yes, your physiological responses, such as your breathing and heart rate as well as your overall well-being, are likely to be optimal when the noise levels inside your office premises are at 50 decibels. Neither too loud, nor too quiet. By the way, did you know that the human brain can magically mask steady sounds? Well, that's exactly how people fall asleep to the sound of steady instrumental music. This study has huge and immediate corporate implications. A landmark study published in Nature Aging shows that genetically modified worms harness solar energy and live 30 to 40% longer than their regular, non-solar counterparts. Japanese and Israeli researchers recently discovered cyclic peptides that target ubiquitin inside cancerous cells. When the cyclic peptides bind ubiquitin chains at a particular location, they inhibit the process of DNA repair. When this happens inside a cancerous cell, it ends up killing the rogue cell. This study demonstrates the chemotherapeutic potential of cyclic peptides. Visit SciTechVault.com today for more such research updates. The oral processing of chocolate transforms it into a molten mixture of food and saliva. We devour chocolates, not only because of their unique flavor, but also because of the nature-engineered biolubricant that they generate in the oral cavity. In other words, the smooth texture of the melted chocolate makes us fall in love with them. When chocolates melt inside our mouth, they release a fatty film that coats various oral surfaces, including the tongue. This fatty film renders a smooth texture to the molten mix, and that's exactly what makes chocolates so irresistible. According to a recent study, the outermost layer of chocolate should contain fat to enhance our sensory experience. However, chocolate cores need not harbor any fat at all. This new information may aid the design of health-friendly dark chocolate with reduced fat content. Earth's inner core has a mysterious existence. It is located at a depth of approximately 5,000 kilometers. However, not much is known about its overall existence. Therefore, most of the science revolving around the planet's inner core is based on assumptions and indirect observations. According to a Nature Geoscience study, our planet's mysterious inner core has recently stopped spinning in the same direction as the rest of the planet. Scientists believe that the core has presumably started rotating in the opposite direction. According to a group of scientists, the inner core changes its direction of motion every few years. The good news is that this reversal is fairly routine and does not seem to have a profound effect on our planet, at least at the moment. In other words, there is really no reason to worry. The world is not ending this weekend or anytime soon. Astrocytes. Specialized cells in the brain and spinal cord. Get activated by external signals, such as food, and deliver specific messages to neighboring cells. For instance, they control the gut-brain axis, or the signaling pathway between the brain and the gastrointestinal tract. A mouse-based study, published in the Journal of Physiology, clearly demonstrates that diets disproportionately rich in fats desensitize astrocytes. Consistently eating a high-fat or high-calorie diet seems to disrupt the gut-brain signaling mediated by astrocytes. Once this signaling gets disrupted, it becomes difficult for the brain to tell whether your stomach is empty or whether it is full. Such a chaotic situation often leads to obesity and type 2 diabetes. Do the people you love subscribe to high-fat diets? Make sure you warn them before it's too late. Researchers from the Korea Research Institute of Chemical Technology have been successful in developing material that is biodegradable and that does not easily become soggy after coming into contact with various fluids. According to the research team, the newly designed material exhibited high contact angles with various test liquids, including oil. The biodegradable paper straws, created from this material, showed remarkable stability in the temperature range 4 to 80 degrees Celsius for a period of 2 hours. The Korean researchers achieved their target using a synthetic route. Briefly, they modified the hydroxyl groups of cellulose nanocrystals with succinic anhydride. Esterification with 1,4-butanediol at 180 degrees Celsius yielded the desired material that was then used to make the biodegradable straws. Every year, senior citizens with reduced cognitive abilities used to cause thousands of automobile accidents in Japan. However, things started improving after a policy change took place in Japan in the year 2017. As part of this policy change, drivers over the age of 75 years are now required to consult a physician before their license renewal. Senior citizen drivers diagnosed with dementia are not allowed to renew their driving license. This policy change has decreased vehicular accidents caused by senior citizens with reduced cognitive abilities, according to a report published by an international team of researchers. Should similar policies be mandated in all countries? Do share your thoughts in the comments section below. Polyethylene is notorious for a reason. It is not easily biodegradable. Researchers from the University of Kansas recently demonstrated that genetically engineered strains of Aspergillus nidulans are able to consume polyethylene-based plastic and convert it into useful metabolites. These metabolites exhibit properties that are important from the pharmacological point of view. The pharmacologically significant compounds include ascorbenzaldehyde, citrioviridin, and mutulin. Chemical derivatives of mutulin, for instance, are used as antimicrobial agents. According to the researchers, the genetically modified A-nidulans produces useful chemical compounds with pharmacological significance, primarily to protect itself from other organisms or to compete with them. To learn more, visit SciTechVault.com now. Scientists studying asteroids have recently discovered something truly shocking. According to a Curtin University-led team, rubble pile asteroids, or cosmic fragments, that are reassembled from monolithic asteroids, are difficult to destroy. Estimates reveal that rubble pile asteroids are more than 4 billion years old. They do not corrode easily, and they can also withstand extreme shock pressures. Moreover, they can easily survive ambient solar system bombardment. So what if a rubble pile asteroid starts approaching our planet? If it's resistant to extreme forces, how is it possible for humanity to destroy it before it destroys us? At the moment, there are no definite answers. However, researchers tend to believe that an approaching rubble pile asteroid could be deflected away from our planet by generating a shockwave from something as powerful as a nearby nuclear blast. Researchers from Boston University School of Public Health recently undertook a high-profile study. They carefully analyzed millions of photographs captured by Google Street View cars and used them to make comparisons between white and non-white neighborhoods. Quite surprisingly, the comparison revealed an ugly truth. White neighborhoods had greener spaces and fewer dilapidated structures than their non-white counterparts. White neighborhoods also had more single-family homes than non-white neighborhoods. When the Boston University researchers undertook comparison studies based on housing privileges and health outcomes, they found something much more disturbing. Residents of non-white neighborhoods showed higher instances of diabetes, asthma, and insomnia as compared to residents of white neighborhoods. The authors attribute these disparities to the historically racist housing policies across the continental U.S. Visit SciTechVault.com for more. According to a recently published scientific report, extremely affluent people cause a lot of environmental pollution and contribute significantly to global warming. How? Well, the study published in Cleaner Production Letters states that millionaires constituting roughly 1% of the world's total population are directly responsible for almost 50% of all aviation-related emissions. Most millionaires are frequent flyers who subscribe to energy-intensive premium class or private air travel. The authors of the study recommend introducing steep taxes to reduce the excessive, unnecessary, and easily avoidable use of aviation. The problem may look trivial, but according to scientific estimates, it may in fact prevent countries from achieving the goals identified by the Paris Agreement. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below, and if you are a millionaire, then make sure you don't fly too often. Alright? Great! Forever chemicals are industrial chemicals that are resistant to environmental breakdown. Businesses regularly use them for manufacturing non-stick cookware, cosmetics, and other items. According to toxicology experts, forever chemicals pose significant health risks. Scientific studies indicate that exposure to forever chemicals can lead to a variety of diseases, such as cancer, developmental defects, and immune system dysfunctions. The contamination of freshwater fish in rivers and streams across the U.S. is fairly common. Therefore, we need to tightly control industrial effluents and ban the industrial discharge of these toxic chemicals. But until the concerned regulatory agencies kick into action, we could at least avoid eating freshwater fish obtained from rivers and streams in the U.S. Not eating freshwater fish is unlikely to hurt you, as there are many other viable food alternatives. Visit SciTechVault.com for more. When people experience major trauma, their brains store the details of the traumatic incident. Memories cannot be erased selectively. Therefore, when memories pertaining to the traumatic incident get evoked by certain sights, smells, sounds, etc., the affected individuals experience post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. PTSD can cause anxiety and depression. Patients with PTSD seek medical treatment. However, treatment alone is not sufficient at times. The consulting physicians also need to identify the specific environmental agents that have the potential to trigger heavy emotional responses. A revolutionary smart device is going to facilitate such identification, according to a study published in the Journal of Psychiatric Research. To learn more, visit SciTechVault.com today. A recent study shows how parental diet affects kids' mental health. The study underscores the importance of a balanced diet and describes how poor parental nutrition can directly affect the mental health of the offspring. According to the article, junk food is a huge social problem that needs to be dealt with sternly. The article shockingly reveals that when parents don't eat well, they adversely affect their children's brain development and behavior. In fact, they make their kids extremely vulnerable to mental health problems. Visit SciTechVault.com for the latest sci-tech research. A group of researchers from the United States has recently been successful in producing solar fuel by mimicking photosynthesis. Researchers who recently conducted a multinational study concluded that women are way better than men when it comes to mind reading. The study included over 300,000 men and women from 57 countries. Researchers from Japan have recently been able to develop new antibacterial compounds that efficiently eliminate even the most notorious multidrug-resistant bacteria, such as MRSA. A recently published modeling study demonstrates that comets making an impact on the surface of Europa might be able to transport life-supporting ingredients from Europa's surface to the water body hidden underneath. Visit SciTechVault.com for more such sci-tech updates.